Thanks for tuning in. This is practical test number 9, lesson 9. And we're going to go over more questions, 25 more questions. Same day for me, different day for you. We all eat a cookie. What is the, let's go step right into it. It says, what is the name of the operating system installed? What is the name of the operating system installation type that preserves system settings, personal files, and applications from an older OS version? In-place upgrade. And the reason why I say that is because it preserves personal files. Unintended installation, that just means timed image deployment, and clean install is basically wiping your computer and be like, you had data? Oh, my bad. You should have backed it up. Continue. Which of the following replace the removable media used for reformatting storage drives? I'm just going to try to read these without reading them, kind of like in my head. Restoring an operating system to the original factory condition. That would be a recovery partition. Because you're recovering. You're reformatting a hard drive and you're restoring an operating system. Primary and extended deal with the hard drive. System partition is like you could fix it from a system partition, but that's if you have system failures. But they're talking about reformatting and reinstalling, so I'm just going to go recovery. A type of Windows installation that erases the entire contents of a target. A clean install. A clean install will erase everything. Which of the installation types listed below provides a simpler and less costly alternative to manual OS installation in an environment consisting of multiple hosts requiring the same configuring settings and image deployment? These two go together. Unintended installation. Unintended installation is a OS that you created with all the files, programs, whatever you want on it, and it reads a XML file. The image, so as you create the image, it reads from an XML file. So probably not that one then. So image deployment. Windows repair installation. Choose 3. It does affect user application, but it does not affect user files. Removes users' applications, yes. No. 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 It does modify the applications. I went through this, and the only thing it saved was my files. This is on Windows 10. Can do this. I don't know if Windows 7 could do it. That's weird. That's interesting. Which of the following enables installation of an OS via network interface? That's a Pixie Boot. NetBoot is another one. It's like 2 answers. NetBoot and Pixie Boot. Devices that are not detected during the operating system installation process might require loading alternative third-party drivers. Devices that are not detected during the operating system installation might require loading alternate third-party drivers. If it's like referring to like a graphics card, I want to say yes. Because I think with like with the graphics card and stuff, it loads the dumbed down version driver, like the basic driver. So let's say you have an HDMI or 4K connector to your monitor from a graphics card. You turn it on, everything is super freaking huge, and you're like, what the crap happened? And you're like, oh, I gotta install the drivers so it can read correctly what the graphics card is outputting. Man, this sucks. Always use OptiPlus for your glasses. They're not my reading glasses, but they help with the lighting issues of the monitors. Keeps me from getting sleepy. I stay up longer, playing games, watching movies, etc. Making recordings. Which of the resources listed below allow for obtaining, installing, and updating device drivers used by Microsoft Windows OS? Oh, okay. Which of the resources listed below allow for obtaining, installing, and updating device drivers? Windows Update, Computer Management Utility, Windows Device Manager. Yes. It is so hard to get these, to get this. Well, anyways, here we go. These cleaned as possible. Oh, it'll do. Which of the following obtaining, installing, and updating drivers? Okay, so you want to do Windows updates, updates drivers, the device manager updates drivers. I have to check 3. Device manufacturer, but it says used by Microsoft Windows. So this you would use on your own. Maybe? No, that's just yes. Computer management utility. Computer store. Check it out. What are the advantages of organizing storage drive space into multiple partitions? Advantages, huh? You can have a multi-boot environment, that's true. Separated disk space used for virtual memory. I don't think so. Preventive measures against drive failures. Separation of unit. Yes, because you create you can create 3 partitions: Windows, Linux, and then your file system. So you have a 3rd partition on your file system. So if anything happens on your operating system, you can just wipe that partition and reinstall it. You know, because this little piggy went broke. Anyways, the increased overall disk storage space to create the no, you can't you only have a certain amount of disk space, and you can partition it, but it never increases. You have to buy a bigger hard drive for that. Preventive message against drive failures. I'll go with no. Virtual disk space is used for virtual memory. Well, it says collect 3, so let's collect 3. Which of the following answers refers to a unique string of characters used to identify hardware, software, and data? That would be the GUID. GUID. It's not OWI. OID. I'm just going to go with GUID. Which of the following answers listed below describes the characteristics of the master boot record? That's what MBR stands for. What does that do? It tells the computer what to boot first in order before it gets the operating system. I don't know, man. Has to choose 3. I guess legacy BIOS, UEFI, and the rest of it deals with partitions and hard drive. I want to say maximum. No, because we had a question earlier, depending on the type of operating system, how much can it handle? Oh, right. This is the MBR partition style. So you could have unlimited partitions. Crap, man. Because I've had a hard drive with more than 4 partitions. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Which of the following answers refers to GPT? First of all, what is GPT? Let's Google it up. GPT, or the third generation generative pre-trained transformer. Okay. Oh, GUI ID partition table. Partition disks are limited, a unified extensible firmware interface. Okay, so GUI partition, basically, which uses UEFI. Legacy BIOS is also... GPT is also required for disk larger than 2 terabytes. So 2 terabytes. It doesn't say. Where do you go? One advantage is that you can have more than 4 partitions. Interesting. I guess up to 128, I suppose. So GPT, so G stands for GUI. I know the UEFI is a GUI interface. It supports disks larger than 2 terabytes, and it has 128 positions. I mean, partitions. Positions. You know what that means, right? The NBR is going to be a legacy, and since we now know that legacy can only have up to 4 partitions, we're going to select 4, where GUI, the UEFI, supports larger than 2, which means the NBR, the old style, supports maximum of 2. I don't know. I'm just going to play with it, and that's based off going off the next questions, which is this. Then we'll go next. GPT disk architecture. Each partition is labeled with a unique identifier known as GUID. True. Quick format. What do you mean it does not erase data? Quick. The term format means we're going to format your ass. We're going to erase you from the existence of society. Requires more than... It requires more time than full format? Are you freaking... The word quick. What? If you select this and you this on the test, were you smoking crack? Or something else? Okay, whatever. Checks the drive for bagged sectors. No. Erases all data to prevent its recovery. Yes. I'm second thinking about it. Given a second thought. Checks the drive for bad sectors, or does not check the drive for bad sectors. Why would it check the... Yes. No. Formatting. Regular format probably does. That's why it takes longer. So I want to say it does not check for bad sectors, because if it does, it slows it down. It adds time to it. Requires, so a third more. That's the last one. Requires less time than a full format. Wow. I guess that's what quick means. Full format does not check. Yes. Requires no. Erases all data. Yes. Requires more time. Yes. Checks the hard drive for back sectors. Boom. A list of computer hardware proven to be compatible with a particular OS is referred to as a list of computer hardware. That's a hardware application layer. That might be the list of computer hardware proven to be compatible with certain OS. With a particular OS is referred to as a HAL. HAL. I don't know. PRL is preferred roaming list. That's the cell phone term. HCL. Hardware control lists. Gives instructions to hardware. CRL. A computer roaming list? We'll just go with HAL. Hardware application layer. Or hardware. Yeah. Which of the following answers listed below refers to a file extension used in macOS? File extension. App package damage dims ding .dmg Delta Mary Golf god dang. Oh, it's not a package. Wait a second. For file format that contains the exact copy of contents of a storage device. Image. Disk image. Yes. Disk. They've got the I, but it's disk image. Let's go with that. Which of the following answers refers to a Mac application installer file? Package. Yes. Dimage. It's the image, the Mac OS image. Package is like Microsoft's version of a zip file. They come in packages. Which location in Mac OS provides access to application updates menu? I do not know Macs that well. Explorer is a Windows thing. iCloud is just a storage. macOS provides access to application updates menu. Spotlight? I'm just going to go with App Store. Screw it. An application in macOS can be executed by double-clicking on an icon with a what the hell? Application in a macOS can be executed by double-clicking on an icon with a .app. Really? The icon with the DB points to a directory. Okay. You know what? I'm not even going to go back and select and change my answers. I want to say it's true. The process of uninstalling macOS applications that store all files in one place is simply and relies on moving the program icon to the system recycle bin called trash. Let's trash their applications. Why don't we? Sure, true, whatever. Which of the answers listed below refers to an SSO solution? SSO stands for single sign-on. for all Apple's products and services. Apple ID. Sign in with Apple? Or Apple ID? Let's go with Apple ID. Manage Apple ID is an account management solution that allows system administrators to disable certain features of Apple devices used by employees in a business environment. Sure. I don't know, but let's say yes. Which of the following Mac OS features allows to create switchable desktop environments? Switchable? Arrow is Windows. Display. Could be Spaces. Let's go with Spaces. Unless Windows calls theirs Spaces. Nope, they call theirs Task View. Time Machine is a built-in backup utility. Time Machine is not a built-in, but whatever. But it's macOS. Have y'all eaten at the Time Machine? Cinderella looks cute. Say hi when you go. Oh, and when you go to the Time Machine restaurant, don't tell them you need to go to the restroom. They'll tell you to wait, and they'll be right back. And what they'll do, they'll go get a chair, come back, say, okay, go ahead and sit on this chair. And you're like, what? And then they'll be like, yeah, just go ahead and sit on it. It's fine. It's okay. I'll take it. You know, I was like, you're going to take me to the restroom. And they'll say, yeah. And then you'll be like, are you going to push me into the restroom? Are you going to go inside and, help? They're like, no, they'll just push you to the restroom and you walk inside. Well, you sit on the chair and they'll start pushing you towards the restroom. But let's say the restroom's over there. They'll push you all the way around the restaurant before going to the restroom. And they'll all the while yelling out, potty control, watch out people, potty control on the way. Dude, that happened to me once and I was like, I'll never ask for another the restroom is again. A macOS operating system feature providing single screen thumbnail. A macOS system feature providing single screen thumbnail preview of all open windows. An application is known as I want to go with Spotlight. Why not? Let's see how it did. And place upgrade. Haha, got that one right. The recovery partition. Which are the replace removable media used for reformatting storage drives and restoring an operating system to the original. Yep, to the original conditions. A type of Windows installation that resets all, clean install, image deployment, 2. For installing Windows. Ooh, got one wrong. Windows repair installation. Does not affect user applications. It doesn't. Interesting. Huh. Windows repair does not affect applications. That's bogus. So there's Windows Repair, and there's Reinstall Windows. And when you reinstall Windows, it asks you, do you want to keep your files and your pictures and files? And you'll say yes or no. That's where I was going with in my brain. But apparently there's another option called Repair. So it does not affect your applications. It preserves application configuration settings. Well, if it doesn't affect your application, then yeah, it's going to preserve the application. It's kind of common sense. And then does not affect user files. Pixie and NetBoot over the network. Devices that are not detected during the operating system installation process might require loading. True. So any drives or devices that doesn't reinstall, you have to go to the manufacturer, which is considered a third party. Which of the sources listed below allows for obtaining, installing, and updating drivers? Windows Update, I was right there. Windows Device Manager, I was right there, but I couldn't figure out what the third one was. But apparently it's the device manufacturer. What? Microsoft OS uses the manufacturer? That would make sense. Oh, okay. What are the advantages of organizing storage drives? Multi-boot, separate disk space for virtual memory. I was kind of skeptical on this one, but apparently I had no idea you could create a partition for just virtual memory. That's interesting. Partition for files. That I already know because I do it all the time. Which of the following answers refers to a unique string of characters? I had a question like that before and it said GUI ID and I was like, how in the hell does a GUI ID? But apparently the key term was unique string of characters. I remember reading that phrase and it said GUI was the correct one. I thought it was a UI, which gives identifications to something. Well, anyways, which of the following answers listed below describes the characteristics of NBR? I am so glad I went back and changed my answers after the next question. Apparently, NBR is an old style of doing things. It uses legacy, maximum disk size of 2 terabytes. And I did not know you could only use a maximum of 4. I think the number of partitions I've ever dealt with was 3. So I just didn't know about the 4. Which of the following answers refers to GPT? After looking it up, it's a GUI partition. GUI interface partition. User UEFI, because UEFI is a GUI interface. Which is kind of weird because BIOS is also a GUI interface depending on the motherboard that you use. The support for disk larger than 2 terabytes, up to 128 partitions. Why in the hell would anybody want 128 partitions? Don't ask me. And that's true, of course. Quick format. Does not erase data. Are you kidding me? Format means you're erasing the data and you're reformatting the damn hard drive. So quick format does not erase the data? So it just erases the, I bet you what it does, it erases the pointer, if that's the case. What I'm referring to is if you you could load files onto a hard drive. Try this. Put it in your computer, right click on it, format it. Do a quick format. after you do a quick format, it shows there's no data, and you have, let's say you have a 4 gig hard drive, you now have 3.9 or 3.86 space remaining, right? And you know you have a gig on there. So if it does not erase the data is technically still on the hard drive or the thumbstick. You just can't see it, and it reads as 0 because the pointer's not there, pointing to, hey, you have this amount of data being used, because that part is like deleted. So that's what that tells me anyway. It does not check for drive for bad sectors. Good me. Requires less time to format. True. But I had no idea that it does not erase the data. I didn't know that. Now I do. Full format. Erases, quick, takes more time, checks the die for bad sectors. A list of computer hardware proven to be compatible with a particular OS is referred to as, okay, so it was an HCL. Hardware control layer, not a hardware application layer. So hardware control layer is a list of computer hardware to be proven to be compatible with a particular OS. So it's hardware control, because the OS has to control the hardware, right? Okay, I guess that makes sense. HCL, hardware control. Which of the answers listed below refers to a file extension used in macOS for a file that contains an exact copy? Dimage. Disk image, basically. I can't believe, yay me, you got it right. Which of the following answers refers to macOS application installer file? Package. Yay me again. You know what, I was thinking about going back and saying this when I read this down here. Can you see that? Yep. When I read that down here, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I don't feel like going back and changing my answers. And the good thing I didn't, because I would have selected this after reading that question. Which of the following answers refer to macOS application installer? Package. So, yet this one down here is true. An application in Mac OS can be executed by double-clicking. Oh, okay, so APP deals with an application that's already installed, kind of like the .exe files in Microsoft. The package file is the application installer, kind of like Microsoft's version of that would be, I would say, a zip file, but within the zip file you would find an exe file to start the running process. So it's kind of like exe does both, apparently. And then the .app is just the application. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, the process of uninstall. Oh, okay, so you're reading all of this and it throws you off. This is why I try anyway to read only the last sentence. If you just read the last sentence of any question, of any test, doesn't matter what it is, more than likely you'll be like, yeah, I know the answer to that. The rest of this is to throw you off your freaking game, man. Which of the answers listed below refers to an SSO solution? Yeah, Apple ID. I've kind of figured that one is out. Manage Apple Day is an account management solution that allows system administrators to disable. The keyword was Apple Manage Apple ID. Another keyword is account management solution. What that means is anything that says the management solution on it is technically governed by your administrator. Which of the following macOS features allows to create switchable desktop environments? See, I didn't know that one. I kind of guessed that Spaces, because that's when you space out, man, and you see different windows everywhere. Tells you who created the Apple application. OS, dude. Oh man, we should create Spaces, bro. Space out. Or maybe there's like space, you know. We like aeronautic space stuff, so we're going to call this Spaces. The Time Machine, macOS. macOS operating system features providing single screen thumbnail preview of all open windows and applications. It's a mission control? What? A macOS system feature providing single screen thumbnail preview. Mission control. Interesting. A single screen thumbnail preview of all open windows. So it's like shows you everything, and they call it a mission control? Huh. That's weird. But hey, I made an 80% rate. First time taking this test, and I made an 80. Stick with me, you'll get 100. Well, anyways, I made an 80. I'm not going over it again. So, thanks a lot, and thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment or two, what you want to learn. Right now, I'm just learning 8+, and going with that for now. Something new I'm just testing out, see how it goes. Alright, thanks a lot for tuning in, and hopefully have a great day.